dialed is not in service at this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Good afternoon, South Africalings. I'm coming to you from a rather cold and wet and miserable Johannesburg today. Definitely not one of the nicer days. We had a massive rainstorm last night. Huge lightning, thunder, proper high-felt storm, and the rains came down. Hey, sure. I was out in North Riding picking up my daughter from a Halloween party, and the rain came down. Hey, I was very lucky to be in my Land Rover at the time. So it was almost like a little off-road adventure in the dark and in the rain. Anyway, guys, that's my story about the weather and the climate. Let's get on to more exciting things. This is the Wayne G Show, and this is Real Talk Radio, where the talk is always real. Today, my show is going to be on something big, something that's taking over the world. Oh yes, and it's not Corona. Yes, Corona is taking over the world and spreading at a rapid rate, but there's something else that's spreading at equally a rapid rate and has been spreading for the last 25 years at least, but it is really gaining huge momentum and traction at the moment. And that is, I guess you thought of it, e-commerce. Yes, South Africalings, it's e-commerce and it is booming. Yep, electronic commerce, that's what it stands for. And online shopping, that's its namesake, hey? Online shopping, and that's definitely taking off at a rapid rate, hey? So, commerce in your basic sense or your basic description, I think we'll have to do a little bit of a history tour, a little bit of a trip back in time to kind of understand what commerce is. And I think we have to go right back in time to the time of the woolly mammoth. Oh yes. When we as humans were running around trying to stay alive, a lot of our time was spent trying to stay alive. Oh yes. We weren't at the top of the food chain in those days, guys. That's for sure. Things were going to eat us and things wanted to eat us, but we were still in the food chain. And being in the chain, we had to survive. And a lot of that survival came about through the exchange of goods. We were trading cows for goats and goats for chickens and whatever we could. It was a barter system. We were pretty much using what we had to get something that we didn't have. That's pretty much basically what it is. It's quite an interesting phenomenon, and it's as old as we are, guys. We are traders. We are merchants. And the first retail actually stretches as far back as ancient Greece, about 800 BC. Hey, long time ago. And there were little pockets in ancient Greece where the agora, it was called, and it was an area where the ancient Greeks used to meet and talk about politics and life and ideas and general discussions and meeting points, because humans are social beings. Hey? We've always been social beings, but we'll get on to that a bit later. But what would happen was, while we were socializing, we were also trading, and these little trading posts, with merchants sprung up in ancient Greece, and that's where we started to trade. And from there you can fast forward about a good couple thousand years, and you're here. You arrive in the modern era of retail. Yes, retail, commercialization. Retail is pretty much selling a goods or a service for a profit to an end user, to a consumer. So in other words, selling this selling this can of Coke Zero that cost X amount to make, you sell it for Y. There's a perceived value in the taste and you make a profit on it. And that's retail, guys. Retail stretches far and wide, and it is a massive chunk of our economy. Hey, huge. Retail is pretty much our lifeblood, guys. America, for example, was built on the small business. And, big giants like the woolly mammoth, similar to the woolly mammoth, now roam our earth. Giants like Amazon, eBay, Massmart, Walmart, huge companies. In South Africa, you can look at Game, you can look at Macro, you can look at Discus, big players in the industry. On a more electronic or e-commerce level, you can look at Ubuy, Take a lot. There's some big online channels as well in South Africa, or places where you can shop and online shop through e-commerce. So definitely catching on. But yeah, retail seems to undergo a paradigm shift, or a repositioning every 50 years or so. If you go back 150 years to the advent of the railway system, the train. First it was a steam engine, and so slowly, through electrification and that, the steam engines evolved. But another thing that came about through the advent of the railway system and railway networks were shopping centers started popping up along these railway lines. And people were using, or commuters were using, these railway lines to travel to and from shopping destinations. And, your modern day mall kind of environment, a shopping environment, started to pop up in the cities where the railways moved in and out of. So that's where it started. Then fast forward another 100 years, and or say 50 years onto that, not 100, and you'll get the advent, or the invention, of the motor vehicle, the mass-produced motor vehicle by Ford, who was the first one. But yeah, with the invention of the motor car, everything changed, guys. Malls started popping up in suburbia. People started living further away from the city because you could travel to and from work, and so slowly, commerce as it is started to change, and retail started to change. Instead of having to travel to the city to go shopping, you could go to these little satellite malls that were popping up in the suburbs, because you could just drive there in your motor vehicle. So there were massive changes. And after that comes the 60s and the 70s, where big discount warehouse chains started opening up. Mass marts, value marts, Kmarts, all of them popped up. And those were the big super chains. Big shopping, big spending, and big consumerism during those times. That were the baby boomers times, where the going was really, really good. The economy was in boom, and people were buying. And after that, the 90s arrived. And with the 90s, www, oh yes, the internet, the World Wide Web, guys. And with it came, you guessed it, .com, online merchandise shopping. Companies started springing up all over the place. There was a massive boom, huge boom in the 90s when it came to e-commerce. With the advent of the internet, people, big or small companies, started using the internet to sell things on. Why not? It's a marketplace. And it was so big, the infrastructure was so big, and the boom was so big that it created what they called the dot-com bubble. And it was just out of hand, guys. And you know what? If you were there during the time, you read a lot of the articles about that era. It was massive. There were companies like eBay, Amazon. Amazon was just selling books. It was. But there were other companies, Pets.com. A lot of different companies sprung up. Plenty. .com everything. And then the 2000s came, and with it, there was a crash. The .com bubble burst. And with its bursting, half of the .com industry was pretty much wiped out in a week. Over a period in March in around 2000, the wheels pretty much fell off. But the survivors did really well, guys. It was not the end of the road for .com, that's for sure. The survivors of that, like Amazon, that were able to survive and modify their business model, did extremely well. Amazon is one of the most successful companies of all time. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, the founder-in-chief, is probably one of the richest or wealthiest men on the planet. And that was from being a postman. Who would have thought, a postman would be the richest man on the planet? That's .com for you guys. That's the era and the age of opportunity. 25 years on, and .com is still booming. It's doing over $200 billion just in America alone a year. E-commerce is flourishing, guys. It is growing at double-digit figures. While the rest of the world is in a recession, e-commerce is still growing, guys, and it is growing across the globe. Whether there are contractions or not in economies, for some reason, e-commerce still flourishes. Why? Because it's easy, it's at your fingertips, it's cost-effective, it's all those things that you need. Being able to shop online changes things. Guys, if you look at a retail shop at the moment, it's an omni-channel. In other words, currently there's two channels pretty much in retail. You've got your mortar and brick retail shopping center, shopping environment that is tangible, you can touch and feel it. And then you've got the online environment, that online shopping experience where it's not tangible. And you'll find the baby boomers and the Xennials. The Xennials are my generation, the 40-year-olds and plus my parents, the baby boomers. A lot of us still prefer to go to the shops and feel and touch what you're buying. It's bricks and mortar. There's salespeople that are there to help you. You've got an environment where you can actually experience the shopping experience. And then you've also got the online, the e-commerce side of these retail outlets. And a lot of them, or most of them, already have dual shopping experiences because they know that in order to keep growing, you've got to have both of those commerce faculties. I don't think one can survive without the other. At the moment, there are, big retail outlets that are investing heavily into their infrastructure when it comes to e-commerce because they know it's the future and they see the value in it. There's immense value in it. And, the e-commerce is more of your millennials, your Generation Y, and your Generation Z. Those are the guys that are going to be using e-commerce extensively. Where if you guess about the future, you're probably going to have very small stores with very select items that you could probably go in and see, and whatever you want, you order online. I think the days of the big, massive shopping, experiences are slowly being eaten up by e-commerce. It's just easier, guys. It's more convenient. It doesn't follow trading hours. You can wake up in the middle of the night and have insomnia and go online and do your shopping. That can't happen in reality. There are 24-hour shopping centers and stuff, but, from the bigger picture, it doesn't happen that way. So, from a convenience point of view, from an economics standpoint, shopping online is just much cheaper, guys. You're buying from a warehouse. You're buying from somewhere that doesn't have massive rentals and staff to pay and salespeople to pay for. You don't have that. So the prices of online shopping are reducing the cost, and that is extremely attractive, especially in times like this, guys. Even pre-COVID. We talk now about pre and post-COVID. Those are the times. Right now we're in COVID, but pre-COVID, the e-commerce was flourishing already. So you can only imagine what it's doing right now, guys. From the time of Corona and it hitting South Africa, especially a fledgling country like South Africa that is still pretty much, I wouldn't say new to the online experience, but, it's nowhere near where America and Europe are with online shopping. And there are many reasons for that, Getting the stuff from A to B, for example, the supply chain in South Africa had to really be built because we couldn't trust the post office, really. You send something via the post office, it's not going to arrive, guys. It just doesn't arrive. So we had to first set up a proper supply chain, and that's where Take A Lot and Ubuy and all of them have really done a superb job with streamlining the supply chain and being able to get products to you in 2 days. 2 days, 48 hours. It's actually incredible what they're doing, and that's what's happening at the moment, and that's the way that we're experiencing a boom in our economy. Even in the middle of COVID, guys, where we are in a massive recession in South Africa, e-commerce is still growing in double digits. It's just not slowing down, and it won't slow down because you'll find even people like me that never really used to shop online. I didn't pretty much shop online. I'd go to the shops, but when COVID arrived, you had no choice. So what's that saying? Adapt or die. You had to then pick up and understand what online shopping is and learn about it. And you know what? Once you've done it, it is so easy. You do it again. You order something with a click. It arrives at your place of direction, in a day or two. That's it, guys. That's how it comes. It's unbelievable. And, I'm probably telling you things you already know, but, for someone that went to a shop not knowing if the product was out of stock or not, you knew immediately. And we are in the age of instant gratification and self-fulfillment. And that is another reason why e-commerce is booming, guys. South Africa's market, $50 billion in 2019 was spent on e-commerce. And they say 50% growth this year again. So it is growing at double digits, guys, and it is going to continue to grow. There's no slowing down. So, in essence, South Africa I think it's rated 33 in the world out of 50. I think MasterCard have done an index on, online shopping. It's very important information to them, and that's the way that they find it and they see it. And, they're able to manage trends and predict trends and see what's going. And South Africa is growing at a rapid rate, guys. It really is. And, it's encouraging because what they've found is a majority of the purchases are actually being done on mobile phones. We've got about an 86% mobile phone usage in this country. The network is very extensive, and huge amounts of online purchasing are going through mobile phones, and it's known as m-commerce, mobile commerce. It's another branch of e-commerce, and it is really taking off. So you can pretty much shop wherever your phone is, And the government, we can say our government has a big plan in the next 5 years to roll out the internet right across South Africa. Whether it materializes or not is another question, but that's what they say they're going to do. The online shopping experience in South Africa has really, in the last, say, 5 or 6 years, from 2015 to 2021, has undergone a massive growth. It is definitely expanding at a rapid rate. If you look, in 2015, we had just over 15 million online shoppers. We've now got over 26 million online shoppers. And that is just going to grow and grow from now on out. So very exciting times ahead. So guys, we've come a long, long way. Hey, if you take the moms and pop stores of the 1800s, family-run businesses in the city, mom and pop, mommy and daddy running the store, and we've gone all the way along the line to a virtual shopping center. Online shopping, guys. That's the way we've traveled, and it's a massive distance. And you know what? I believe in both of them. I believe in the customer experience. I believe in that shopping experience where you go in and the shop owner knows your name. That old school, I really, really like it still. I think there's a massive part of the human experience that has to be that. We're social beings. We can't coop ourselves up in front of our computer and do all our shopping. The clothes you buy online, you've got to wear outside. You can't just wear them online. So there's a massive part, and like I said before, it's an omni-channel. They can exist together, coexisting. E-commerce with on-the-ground retail. I think that's where it's at, guys, and that's where it's going to be for a long time still. Hey, some things you can't just buy online. You can't go and buy haircuts online. A lot of things you still need to go into the shops for and do, and there's a long way to go. But I think that online e-commerce is taking the brunt of it and taking the people into a new shopping experience and a virtual shopping experience and putting things at your fingertips that perhaps you'd never have before. So it's pretty damn awesome, guys. We're living in awesome, exciting times. That's it for tonight or this afternoon. This is the Wayne G Show, and this is Real Talk Radio. Peace and love.